Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to yet another Gunpla review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here. This is the high-grade Gundam 00 Seraphim Gundam, and of course that is from Gundam 00, believe it or not. If you haven't seen my last couple of Gundam 00 high-grade reviews, well, you can check those out, and those include the Seraphim you're seeing right there in the front of the box, as well as Gundam Nadle. Once again, this is an older Gunpla review. This came out in 2009, so it's about 11 years old. And if there is any older Gunpla you would like to see on this channel, drop it down there in the comments, and if I can get it and review it, I'll try to get around to it. So this right here is another kit that I've not yet built, so flipping it over. Going in from the bottom so we can get that manual first, and there isn't a lot of plastic in here like you would expect. So once again, Seraphim Gundam, Tierra. It seems like this can be used with the Seraphim Gundam. Why it didn't come with the Seraphim Gundam, I have no idea. It's got a giant face on it, which I love. And there's a flashback to the first season. Once again, I just looked at the Nadle not so long ago, so I'll include it sometime in this review. Anyway, for the plastic, we've got 2 bags only. And that is Runner A, multicolored in gray, black, clear, and white. Runner B is also multicolored in black, yellow, red, and beam saber. A whole bunch of polycaps, and those are the stickers. Anyway, let's get this built! Time-lapse time! Anyway, finally there is the high-grade Seraphim Gundam just snapped together with a little bit of panel lining. And I have to say, this is one unique little high-grade. This is one of the most simple high-grades I've seen in a long time. And in a way, it kind of feels like it's, well, an entirely different grade completely. Something a little lower down than high-grade. Of course, this is somewhat of a supplementary mobile suit, so that does make sense. But this is incredibly basic. So jumping right on in with the comparison, and there is Seraphim. This particular version is the Seraphim Gundam GNHWB. I did do a review of this if you want to check that out. I'm going to mention this because it could get confusing to some people. It definitely confused me, and that was I bought both of these kits together, and when I actually saw the Seraphim box, I assumed Seraphim was in there, kind of like with the 1/100. So I thought I kind of screwed up and bought 2 of Seraphim by accident, but that is not actually the case. Seraphim only comes with a transformed version of the Seraphim that cannot transform into the mobile suit mode. You actually need the high-grade Seraphim kit to do that, the one that we're looking at today. So if you want a complete Seraphim and Seraphim together that transform, have both mobile suits, then you're gonna have to buy both boxes, whether it's this advanced version of the Seraphim right here or the standard version. So that can be a little bit confusing. So that does mean the Seraphim that we're looking at today is missing some of what you would consider its equipment. It does not have anything but beam sabers, so it doesn't have the GN cannon style arms or anything like that. All of that comes with Seraphim. So anyway, there's that full 360-degree spin, so you can see absolutely every angle of this thing, and in case I forget to mention something, you'll be able to see it for yourself. So first off, I thought the black plastic on this would mark a lot more than it does. These are all surface knobs and you can see them, but they're not nearly as bad as I thought they would be. On top of that, the color separation could be a little bit better. We've got stickers for the yellow vents in the legs and the eyes, the head camera, and there's a little bit round back that you can't even notice, so I guess they could be worse. And there is no denying that a Gundam that has a big old Gundam face for a chest is damn awesome. Once again, if you're not a big fan of old, simple, basic kits, you may not like this, but it is fun and unique in its own way. Also, I don't think it's coming across in the video so well, but this thing is tiny. There it is side by side with Nadle and the classic RX-78-2 Gundam, which is your standard size Gundam. And this thing is so small. I mean, it's literally only up to their shoulders. So now moving on to the accessories, and here's the high-grade Seraphim Gundam with absolutely everything that it comes with, and I have never seen a gunpla come with so little. I will mention that this is an extremely cheap gunpla, by the way. It is small, there's not a lot of plastic, not a lot of accessories, but the price does reflect that. But what we get in here is 2 beam sabers and 3 blades. 2 big, 1 small. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say here. You can pop them into the hands like so. There's a long one. There is a short one. We have 2 long ones. The back of the hands are clear, which is quite unique, but these are very not great. And those beam sabers like to fall out. So if you want them to stay in, you're pretty much going to have to make sure he's holding them upright, because this is an incredibly loose hold. Also, when these are not in use, there is nowhere on the mobile suit in which to store them, which is definitely a bummer. So finally moving on to the articulation and build, and one thing I'll say is because this is so lightweight and simple, it is solid as a rock, completely. No issues whatsoever. We've got the standard giggity goo double ball joint polycap neck here, so you can look up, look down, side to side. There is a bit of a pivot there too, so pretty much the usual. The V-fin of the face on the chest, these are on ball joints, but they're incredibly loose. Like, they fall off all the time. You may need to thicken them up so you don't go mad. The shoulder polycap is lined up so it can move down and up like this, which is quite interesting. So that does mean the arm can raise up quite high. This is part of the transformation. Inside of that then is a simple ball joint, shoulder flaps on the front and back that move up and down, full rotation at the upper arm, single point bend at the elbow, very limited, less than 90 degrees. The wrist joint is not the usual ball joint, this is just rotation. Just a peg here for the ab crunch, well, should I say lack of ab crunch, because I can't do one. The front skirting armor is all one piece, this is just on this little polycap joint. The side skirts are on a similar kind of joint. These are very prone to falling off. What we get is just a bit of up, a bit of down, a bit forward, quite a bit to the back. The Seraphim has no butt flap. The waist joints on this are just ball in sockets. So you do not get any more old school than that. So as for the kicks, what we get is that up to the front, which is pretty much perfect. That all the way out to the back, which is crazy. And because these are ball in sockets, you don't get much in the lines of the splits. We've got a double jointed knee bend, so that's not too bad at all. We've got a very unique ankle right here, so it's a polycap joint here. This is the one that is usually used in the chest, connecting the shoulders. So that allows the foot to flip back and forward like that. And all of that then is a ball joint, so that'll give you quite a bit. The actual foot then has a hinge, so that can drop back very, very far. That's actually quite ridiculous looking. I mean, seriously, think of the possibilities. The RX-78-2 comes in, looking to rumble. Seraphim winds up for that roundhouse kick. RX-78-2 is all like,
I know what to do.
up with the block. That roundhouse connects. And then wham! RX-78-2 is like,
Ah, shit, I forgot.
Seraphim swings up the other leg for another kick in the head. RX-78-2 is all like,
I have no choice but to block.
and wham! He's caught again. Seraphim's all like,
I got you now!
and the RX-78-2 is like,
Well, you're kind of stuck up there. What are you gonna do? Oh, wait. Where are your hands?
so yeah, the articulation on Seraphim right here may not be the greatest, but the one thing you can't say is that it is not unique. So of course, the Seraphim Gundam's final destination is on the back of Seravi right here, so let's get him transformed. So that is head off, hands off, backpack piece off, replace the head with the backpack piece, line up the arms like so, arms back, knees off, move them down, arms up, fold up both of those legs, and there it is side by side with the one that came with the Seravi GNHWB. So that can then just plug on in to the back of Seravi, just like the one that came with it, but this one is transformable. So anyway, that right there is it for the review, and this is a bronze tier gunpla through and through. However, it is extremely cheap, so that's not too big of a deal. It's extremely simple, it can mark quite a bit on the surface while you're cutting it out, so be careful with that black plastic. It does require quite a few stickers, and it's got a lot of old tech in it. If you really want something to go with your Seravi, this is perfect. I kind of don't understand why they didn't just include a full Seraphim in with Seraphim Gundam, honestly. The transformed version you do get with Seraphim though is better as a backpack because it is a lot more stable than the transformable one, so essentially the best option here for this kit is to pose it beside your Seraphim as opposed to sticking it onto its back. Anyways, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more gunpla reviews, and I will see you next time. Once again, I cannot finish this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys. Whether you just watch my videos, like them, or support the channel on the channel memberships and over on Patreon. Like Craig Jury, Greg Humphrey, Kaiser721, Tyler Sanders, Caleb Engelhardt, Sean T, and the ambassador for asymmetric cats.